Hello everyone, Caramel Tension here, and we're back with another review. This time, we're doing the minis again. I bought this shit again. So again, the box is literally almost the exact same as the year prior, although it seems the colors are a lot more brighter, maybe a bit more saturated, as you can see between these two renders. However, the major change is on the front, so as you can see here, designs are all the same. Bear in mind the yellow rope. On the new box, that freaking nitrogen promo Thomas that we cannot escape is added. Some of the colors on the icons up here are different. Like, for example, that little train right there, that little Thomas silhouette is green now. And some of the tracks are... Actually, wait. The tracks are the same for the most part. However, there is now a front view of Rebecca on this side, which wasn't there before. And I think literally all they wanted to do was just add more flair to the front of the package. Without further ado, oh, and also the rope is now braided and gold as opposed to yellow. So anyways, without further ado, let's get cracking into this. So this is a little interesting as there was no special like new metallic engine, which apparently it came to my attention that the Gordon in this pack was actually exclusive. And so much so that there are not many pictures of this Gordon around, that my picture of Gordon wound up on the Thomas Minis wiki. And also the selection was mostly the same from last year, as opposed to whatever I picked out this year. So, first off we have New Look James. This is based on James as seen in The Adventure Begins, being repainted into a pink undercoat, which this could also kind of serve as a 2-in-1, as it could also be a reference to Tickled Pink. However, you may notice something. James's wheels have a shorter wheelbase. That's right, this year, the minis were redesigned to have shorter wheelbases to fit on the inner rails of motorized track. So here's a James from previous years to compare it to. As you can see, very smaller. Here's what the bottom looks like. You also feel much more lighter than before. What sucks about this is that, like, the most confusing part about this is, like, why redesign this so late into the game? Like, minis has been on life support for the past, like, 5 years now. And so now these minis are just useless on old sets because they can't really do the stunts anymore. I mean, they could go on some parts of those minis sets, like on the tower, they could ride down that little like spiral thingy-wingy. They're pretty much useless on Superstation track. However, they can work on Castle track now. But in a second, I'll go over a couple of examples of stuff this does and doesn't work on. But anyways, yeah, here's New Look James. Up next we have good old Harold, which this mini just really confuses the hell out of me because, like, they made non-rail vehicles in minis form, like Kevin, Birdie, but they looked like trains. But I want to pretend that they're on a flatbed, and Harold is easily the most excusable of the bunch. Because really, if you just make this gray, it's like he's on a gray flatbed, and it could be like merch for like the Thomas way or something. But yeah, propeller spin, same old play features as same old feature as James with the 2025 minis. Up next we have Dog Thomas. Again, got the little puppy design going on here. This has been a mini that's been around for a while, since like 2019 I think. But there's him. As you can see, again, narrow wheelbase, a little bit more easier to tell on this. They can still be taken apart, but I assume these again aren't that compatible with the old minis, which again is really sucks in terms of customization, as I'm a person who loves to customize minis. Up next we have Graffiti Paxton. For some reason, he just looks the worst in this for some reason. I don't know why. Like, there's something about this that just makes me unfathomably mad or something. Like, is it the narrow wheels? Like, I'll test these on a motorized track later. Then we have New Look Thomas, which again kind of makes me hate the New Look series so much is that when this engine was first leaked in like 2020 or whatever, we saw from this angle like, hell yeah, we're getting an LBSC Thomas in minis form finally. Oh, he's being painted blue. Great. Yeah, that's and another thing that upsets me about this, James, is why didn't they make his running board red? His running board was red in the movie. Like, why not do that? He just looks weird. He looks like Donald or Douglas from afar. He just looks like, why am I there? Up next we have DJ Diesel 10. Again, same old. Like how where Pinchy is like a turntable type thing. Pretty cool. Up next we have my very first piece of Rebecca merch ever. Dinosaur Rebecca. As you can see, she's got like a little mining hat and a little monocle. And she's super happy to be here. One thing I hate about Rebecca's minis design, and this also happened with the Busy books if I'm correct, it's because like the way her design looks would just be really hard to capture in minis form. So it just didn't give her a tender, and so she looks like really flippin' weird. So yeah, there's her. And then last, and by certainly not least, we have... Oh my god, can she just get out, please? Galaxy Ashima, who actually doesn't look too bad in this redesign, but she just still looks... There's something missing, you know? So anyways, let's try these folks out on... Oh, oops. Yeah, let's try these folks out on some motorized track, which, let me just put this aside. Alright, here's my motorized track. Let's put little Tom on a spin. So as you can see, he fits on the inner rails just like that. And also, here's what a normal mini looks like, riding on those inner rails. They can't really do it properly, and they just kind of just float around. Which, like, okay, if you're gonna have a track system for the minis, just, why not use the Superstation track? That's why it exists. If you want to have a unified track system, use the Superstation track system. You made it for a reason. Like, yeah, it's nice that, they want to have a unified track system to, like, for motorized, push along, hell, even wooden railway. And minis, like, that's cool and all. In hindsight, it's a good idea, but in practice, it just makes zero flippin' sense. You do it so late into the game, and also, on most all engines go sets, and like in push along sets in general, or motorized sets, they just don't work, because you know why? You know why? It's a little thing called this. So almost every motorized set comes with this switch piece, so you can connect it to a different set or expand your sets if you want to ever get more. So really, these guys only work on a certain amount of push-along sets that are complete loops, no crossovers, no nothing. So here's what happens if they go on a switch. Oh. See that? The thing ends, so they're just stuck. They're stuck. It's stupid. It's even worse over here because they just don't do that. And again, they just kind of just end. Like, why? Now, let me pull out a couple of other track pieces, and we're just gonna see what the hell is going on here. Here is the minis case, which for the longest time, this was the only really real track system that the minis had for a while, because if you had this case, you could just play with the engines on the back or on the inner lid of the case. So as you can see, these guys work fine. And also, any take and play or adventures, any take and play item made past 2012 with the little pinwheels type thing, the dumb magnets from 2014 to 2016 and the Adventures engines all fit on this as well. However, what happens when you put little, you just kind of just, oh, I'm gonna flop around, oh, like, he really only works on the lid. Like, why? It makes me so mad. I really do not know where I put my piece of power fence track. But guess what? You know the one track system that people found out works with these minis? Guess what? It doesn't work with these guys. And it just makes me so unreasonably mad, you know? Like, if you wanted to have them run on, like, a certain track system, just why not do it from day one? Trackmaster Revolution was brand flippin' new. It was almost a year old when these fuckers came out. And yes, I'm using language, and also to stop me from getting, freaking marked for kids, but you make a new line that was made that obviously they marketed it as, you can do stunts with these guys. These are like flippin' Hot Wheels. And yeah, but some of us just want to use them as trains that you can't really do train things with them. They're just there to exist. Which, yes, I like collecting minis. They were cheap, they were affordable, they were fun, and I'm one of the few people who defend minis with my life because minis are cool. And I mean, look it, I make goofy minis customs all the time. Look, here's Deku Thomas, there's Todoroki James, there's, I don't want to talk about you, you can die. But, like, this upsets me a lot. Yes, this is a novel redesign, and I want to like it, but I can't. Like, there's just too many things wrong with this line that just makes me unfathomably upset. And also, can I just mention the first wave of these minis and how just whack it actually is? Like, there are two really great minis in this line that are brand new in the blind bags, mystery bags, or the clean, whatever you want to call it. It's a Gold Thomas with not the Reginald Dalby illustration, but the Reginald Payne illustration of Thomas on his side. That's really cool. And stay in the cartoon track. Okay, and that's really cool. Then you have a Diesel 10, but it's got a model series type base, and he's actually mad instead of whoever this guy on Botox is. This is not Diesel 10. This is Happy Guy. Just makes me. The more when I first saw this, I thought, oh, this is cool. But the more I play with these in person, the more it makes me mad and just sad and depressed. And you know what's crazy? At Dale of Thomas, they almost had the entirety of the first wave of these new minis. And by how whack this wave is, you have your regular old Thomas, then you have the Percy from the fucking launcher that released like several years ago. Then you have classic engines like Charlie, James, and then almost everyone else here, including that one aquarium truck from the last Dale of Thomas I went to, just with the narrow chassis, which they did have. And then anyone else they had there, like, they obviously still had the Dale of Thomas engine, but he wasn't redesigned, he was still same old. But, like, just, why? Like, it's nice that I almost have the entirety of the first wave besides the new Flynn, and I think there's like one other engine that they had, besides the truck, but I can't remember what it was. But other than that, I mean, yeah. But hey, you know, do what you gotta do, and this just upsets me, and I don't really know what else to say because my freaking camera stopped working. But yeah, rare caramel tank engine rant. So yeah, you know, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out and goodbye.